really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's just a fantastic opportunity, and I just think it's a no-brainer for what you're offering for the payment is just unbelievable.
I mean, 5 years down the road, you have no idea how much money you're going to be making. I mean, we could be. If I really wanted to, I probably wouldn't even have to work in 5 years. I could just live off of the income of you. Which is gonna be
that is the goal. That is the first. So that is, trust me, that is 100% my first goal. Is that in the first iteration, I'm trying to create essentially a fusion engine. In the first iteration, I'm trying to create a sustainable thing that can keep all you guys happy, where you guys are actually happy, and can keep a company going that has money, where that thing can just perpetually operate and don't have to do any work, but it can just keep going without having to do work, but it can continue doing work, because that will create the next big cash cow that can 10x that. And if you do that 3 or 4 times, then the way that you're living is, at that point, you can be at a $10 billion a year from a company perspective, and that not seem a lot. That's how you do that. And that's my goal. If you guys want to take all your money and just, you know, go live on a beach, that's fine. That's up to you. I'll take care of you guys. That's my goal. My goal is to create an empire. That's my goal, and that's what I'm going to do. Like, I like to be transparent and honest. You know, for every one of you guys that I get to sign up, that's why I'm out there every day hustling, because I know that I've promised you guys 75% equity of my company. I've promised you 75% of all the revenue shares. And if I want to own more than 25% myself, I have to be the one out there actually bringing in all the partners, because that's how I get my additional revenue shares in my own company, is by me bringing in the partners. That's why I'm out there doing that, because what I plan on doing with all my money is investing it right back in my company and making it bigger and bigger and building a huge empire. So I'm glad you guys are here for that journey, and I really do expect it's going to be to your benefit, much more than that $300. But that's just me. So, but again, this is it for you guys. So,
John, is there any way that you can sort of have like a back office where you can put all these softwares in there at once instead of logging into each one separately?
That's kind of what this is. So. That's kind of what, where is that?
Yeah, that's the affiliate one. That's just, it's where we can log in and use it.
Well, that's kind of what this affiliate dashboard is. I mean, I can put all the links to the software there if that was what you're needing, but that's kind of what the whole purpose of this dashboard is to give you a place where you can actually log in.
Yeah, we can log in, and that's where we can see what we're selling, and we can add a user and all the rest of it. But as opposed to using it, then it's logging into separate accounts, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and it can be done, but I don't want to do that. So it can be done. It could be done to go in and give you guys like just one place, and like every software tool is in that one place. But I would not want to do that. That doesn't seem like a smart thing to do, just because the softwares are inherently so different. It's going to, from a tech nightmare, it's going to be like if everything's under one domain in one area. And I don't think, like, in the long-term vision of this thing, like to me, I get you guys are my partners. You guys, like, my goal, I get all you guys are my partners. You guys cover initially my operating costs. Then we finish up, I grab the community. Those are just, you know, people. There are beta testers, there are affiliates that whenever we drop off, when the partnership builds a new software, we get those guys to go in and use it, because they get all our software for their fee. And they use it, they test it out, and they push it and they promote it, right? Those are affiliate people. They're doing that, right? And that money from the community, that's kind of like our upfront marketing costs, so that we can spend money and we don't have to pay those affiliates, especially if we put good marketers inside our network. All right. And then everybody else, where our real money comes from. Where does our real money come from? It does not come from somebody who's out there paying $97 a month for fucking 7, 8, 10, 12 software tools like Builderall, however many things we build. It comes from us acquiring individual users and you know, strictly branded software products. So if a user pays for 10 of our software products, they don't even know they're actually really interrelated whatsoever, so that they're paying the maximum on each actual different software and not thinking, hey, this is just some bundle of stuff. That's where our real scale is actually going to come, and that's what I would prefer to do. And plus, I think it would be so confusing to have like 7 different tools or 6 different tools that all did kind of different things and try to have to explain somebody through customer support, like where to go to do this, that, or what, and them actually understand that, oh, this is that different thing or this is that different thing. So I would not want to do that, and I probably wouldn't do it.
That makes sense.
Some of you guys say that you think that's the best, and I am always obviously open up to discussion about any of this. That's another goal of the partnership. It's not, you know, like I'm trying to partner with you guys and get everybody's collective opinion on what you guys will think that is the best thing for this to be for this to be successful. So if it needs to be done, I would take the time to do it if everybody thinks that's what actually needs to be done. I personally don't think that's the way to go myself. But again, this is your guys' time, so what else? Hey, can I have some tea? Some hot tea? Dennis, what's up with you, man?
So a short little thing there. I was just saying, right now, I mean, whatever ideas we currently have, unless they are critical tasks that are stopping the software from working or stopping us from actively bringing people in as inner circle members, all those things can go on the side for now. Scarce resources are somewhat scarce. You still don't have 100% of your people free and available to work on software, right? We're still trying to do a major revamp to text in bulk and put in certain things in place to let it scale. So again, all ideas are good. They'll go on a short list, they'll keep accumulating, and we'll circle back. But right now, I think the priority is to get the inner circle filled up and to address any issues that might be getting in the way of that.
Well, that's definitely, to be honest, my biggest priority. Like my biggest priority is to continue to manage the clients that I have to manage to cover everything, and then to actually fill up this partnership and finish this partnership up. The software, to the most extent, I've got all hands on deck for doing text in bulk work and essentially trying to make text in bulk, completely redesign it and pack it in with make it global to the entire world, where the entire world can actually use it and it'd be a little bit more user friendly. And that can be our first little cash cow that one thing can do $1 million a month in revenue if we put 20,000 people in there at $47 a month. So. And that should be relatively simple if we're expanding to the mass market completely outside of the US. And if we polish off the UI and add a few more features in it and make it faster and a little bit more stable for everybody using it. So does anybody else have any other questions or things that they want to talk about while they're here?
Yeah, who would you say is the target market for RoboContact and text in bulk? Yes, marketers, but is there like sub niches or industries that it's more specific to?
Well, definitely. I mean, it's definitely good for marketers, for people who are doing marketing, ads, content, websites, graphic design. I mean, those types of people could actually use it to go and pull different leads. Anybody selling B2B different services.
Yeah, maybe I can help answer that a little bit, John. It really depends on a couple of factors. One having to do with what your area of either focus, expertise, or prior engagement has been, so you can leverage that audience. If you don't have one of those already ingrained or built out, so you're starting fresh, which means you don't have any of that baggage to carry along with you, then you have more of an open road. But the lead generation aspects of RoboContact and text in bulk, I'm talking just the lead generation parts, are more suited for B2B because you can do searches for people registering domains, for example. And individuals normally don't register a domain. Usually businesses do, right? If you're looking at the Google Places, same, it's for businesses typically. The RoboContact, filling out contact us forms, typically businesses will have that. So if you're talking where you're looking to generate brand new business, probably a B2B market would work. And that pretty much applies to anybody. If you're a cleaning service and you deal with businesses, great. You can rack up all kinds of leads there. If you're providing any kind of services, really product, service, or otherwise, B2B would work. If, on the other hand, you're dealing with a client who already has an established business, then they can go in both directions. They can load up their current contacts of all their existing clients or previous prospects, load that up into, for example, text and bulk, and do an outreach to customers, whether it be to upsell them to new service, to retain them as a client, to improve customer relationships, or to even using things like sticky reviews manage their reputation. So if they have an existing client base, then it doesn't matter B2B or B2C. If you're looking to help people generate new leads, then B2B is probably your audience. And again, the niche doesn't really matter. This goes across the board, but those are the two big buckets you want to look at. Normally, I would ask people a couple of questions in terms of just so you have a reference point to where they are. Do they have a website? If they do have a website, then you can use things like Magic Zap to be able to, on the back end, make sure that as prospects are coming back into the system, they can be notified that a client just landed on their page again, and have a notification go out to the sales rep or anyone else that Joe Blow is on your website right now. Do you want me to trigger a phone call with them? You can do those kind of things. So first question, A, do they have a website? B, do they run Facebook ads? Why is that relevant? Well, some of the tools link into Facebook, right? So if you know they're already running Facebook ads, you can leverage that part of text and bulk. If they're not running Facebook ads, you might be working with people, or you yourselves might be able to provide them some reference points as far as how to get their advertising going and therefore bring in more people into their own business. The other thing I'd ask is what kind of business do they have? Is it a brick and mortar? Is it e-commerce? Are they offering professional services, accounting, insurance, consulting, coaching? All these are slightly different niches. And then you can tune slightly what you present to them, how the tools can service them in those areas. And probably the only other question I'd ask is, and what is the main priority for them at this point in time? Because 101 things we can do with the tools. You want to find out what their main pain point is, and you can offer them some options. Is it generating leads consistently? Is it converting leads to either clients or customers or team members, whatever that scenario is? Is it building stronger relationships with those existing clients? Is it selling more to existing clients? Or is it reputation management? And each of those questions points directly to one of our tools or mechanisms inside the tools. So all those questions will lead you very specifically to a set of prescriptions, if you want to think of it that way, a very specific business problem. But rather approaching it from like, hey, our stuff can do everything. Now you're talking to an individual as an individual, and you're helping them flesh out what is that number one thing, that one glaring thing that if you could help fix for them, their business would go 2x, 10x, whatever it might be. If you fix that one thing for them, everything else will fall into place later. So that's maybe a broader way to approach this. So you know what tools to offer and how to present the value proposition. So for them, it becomes a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a great answer. So I need to go into the softwares more and understand more their capabilities.
Well, if you need my suggestion, like I said, I'm here to help you guys as much as possible, especially if you want to help yourself. If you guys need immediate money back on the return on your investment, if you are hoping to get saying, hey, I'm spending $300 a month right now in this opportunity, I want some money back right now from it, I would definitely suggest that you go in and you spend some time actually learning the softwares and understanding the softwares so that you can use the software accounts that you have to make some money right now and cover your costs back, so that you can also use those software accounts that you have to make some profit. Because I will be transparent with you, it's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to be literally 6 to 18 months before the actual revenue shares that everybody has as part of this partnership have a meaningful value to you. All right. That's going to obviously depend on us going out and And outside of what you guys are doing on your own, having people in a community, having affiliates out there also promoting our softwares and products, and that generating revenue, to have a pool of revenue that can then go back in and be distributed out to everybody. So if you want that immediate revenue, then you should definitely take some time to actually learn the software products. If you don't have teams and infrastructure in place already to learn them for you and go out and do your selling for you. So I think there's a couple people already who have actually made their money back already on their membership by using those software accounts. So again, I'm here to help you with whatever you need, not do for you, but to definitely help you with whatever you need.
No, I like the idea that you shared and the way some of those guys earned it back by offering those in bulk. I just didn't have access to them, but now I have them, so we're good.
Well, I do believe one of the reasons I gave you guys all 10, all right, one of the reasons that was my number is I do believe that is, if you do $1 a day plan, that if you go in and just query your own personal Facebook, that and you say, hey, I've got 10 of these available, they're $1 a day, and I'm only going to take advantage of this opportunity so I can get this stuff myself at $1 a day. If I get 10 people to commit that I'll do it for $1 a day, if I do, then I'll do it. That makes your money back 100%. And once you get that 10th person, if one person decides to quit on that $1 a day, it's kind of like if you guys saw my offer today. My offer today was essentially anybody who signs up today, if you sign up today, I'll guarantee you'll be profitable, because 30 days exactly on 12/2/2018, if you come to me and say, John, I want to sell this back to you, I'll buy it back to you for $400. Why? You don't lose any money. You'll instantly make $100 back. What's the odds that your ass is actually going to be on my doorstep at 12/2 sometime during the day to actually take advantage of that condition and say, hey, John, this is the day you said you'll buy this back. Buy it back for me. Not very high. Now, if I can get everybody, look, if I fill this membership up with 100 Inner Circle members, do you know how much your membership goes up to? Everybody who wanted to get in that can no longer get in at this opportunity, they fucking missed out. Now, if I go in and say, if they come in, some of you guys will go in. If somebody says, hey, look, I want to buy this, and you cancel, I could take that same $300 membership, and when I go back out to the market and say, hey, there's only one of these available, it's $1,000. Most likely we'll get somebody to buy that up at $1,000. That's why I'm comfortable with doing that offer. Even at that $1 a day, if you do the same thing, you'll make your $300 a month back and you'll break even there. And if one person cancels and says, hey, then worst case scenario, you're out $30 a month is what this opportunity is costing you. And you can take that same $1 a day thing and you say, okay, this is $97 a month. I only got one left, and you can buy it if you want to. And this is what you're going to get. And we also just did that affiliate thing where you can have some additional offer that you can give somebody to go along with that. So you guys are going to find out really soon that inside your affiliate area as Inner Circle members, you're going to have access to all the stuff that Gideon most likely knows, because he's already paid for ahead of time for it to be able to be created, which is more mastermind and more content material that can help you with everything that you need, that you can also share as a bonus to get people to actually come in. You'll have that content either because it's already made for you, or you can go in and regurgitate it and remake it to start building up your own brand and your own authority and teaching people how to do specific concepts specifically with our software. So you can definitely make your money back if you try. So I believe that, at least myself. So what else? Anything else you guys want to talk about while we're here?
If we bring in other Inner Circle members and we get the extra revenue shares and they end up leaving for whatever reason, those shares go away as well?
That's good. That's correct. They would have to some extent. I mean, they wouldn't necessarily have to. And we could talk about that. I think that's something that we would have to define. It makes sense to some extent that they would go. It makes sense to some extent that they would go away. But then again, maybe not.
Well, John, just from a very pragmatic perspective, and maybe it's a self-inflicting wound, but I would say yes, they go away. Only because they came in for a certain amount of time, much like with an affiliate. We bring in someone, if we keep them in the system or they stay in the system, we continue to make revenue. If they happen to drop off, then they dropped off. We either didn't follow up, or we didn't show how to definitely use the products, or they simply weren't the right fit. But because otherwise, you can have people signing up for the inner circle, they stay in for a little bit, they drop off, and then those shares continue to get used up.
And you don't have any real incentive. You don't have any.
Yeah. So I would say, again, even though it,
get a new partner.
Yeah. So again, just looking from a company perspective, I'd say, yeah, they would have to go away.
Yeah, but how do you want to do that? You know, once it's a legal share that you have, how do you want to make them go away?
Just in a certificate of terms and conditions where it's defined that those revenue shares are applied based on active members that are underneath you, and if they become inactive, that no longer you have claim to those revenue shares. So I think the structure would be legally kind of easily to actually abide by the terms and conditions that we're all actually agreeing to, as long as there's some accountability overhead to account for it.
Okay.
And then who gets? And then there's the spot available. So does that go to you to offer it to somebody for $1,000 a month, or is the person
it
who
just
referred that person?
goes back into the overall pool, because it's not like all of us are.
Nope. Let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
The revenue shares go back into the pool, yes. So I've just lost, let's say I lost one person, so I just lost 30 revenue shares. Now there's a spot available in the inner circle. Who gets to promote that again to the...
If the inventory is available, we can all currently promote as many as we like. None of us are limited right now. None of us have a set pool.
Talking about if the whole thing is filled up and one of our members that we brought in drops off, who gets to promote that opening to the inner circle again?
I think that the fairest thing would be to give, let's say it's you, I think the fairest thing would be to give you X amount of days and say, you know what, you have X amount of days to try to fill this spot up. And if you can't do it in X amount of days, then everybody now it's available to everybody. I think that would be the fairest thing that we could all agree on, and just define that X amount of days.
Yeah, you got a buffer.
I was actually going to recommend that. I love that idea.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
I like it.
What else? Obviously, I want this to work for everybody. So my goal is not to be a dictator at all. Like I'm calling it a partnership for a reason, because that's my expertise. I'm very transparent about it. My expertise is building software, and that's what I want to be left in the zone to do. All right. What do I expect from my partners? First thing, you got to be able to pay the money and just pay it. So if you don't have the money, you need to go do something so that you can get the money, or you need to get out of the partnership, because I can't rely on actually building an empire with unstable partners. All right. If you just want to pay the money and that's it, shut the fuck up for 12 months and just wait for fucking be a billionaire. That's great. You can do that, and I'll make you a billionaire eventually. What would be more productive and more helpful is also get your input, also get your thoughts and your opinions, so that collectively we can decide what is the things that we should actually be doing, because I won't claim to know it all until we're talking about software. If we're talking about software, the average one of you guys, I would probably just ignore your opinions for the most part, especially when it comes to architecting software, unless you just happen to have degrees and experience in building complex systems. Outside of that, I don't know that. I don't have all the answers. So I'm looking for us to collectively work together to define those things so that everybody is happy. What else?
I think there was a question on chat.
Couple questions on chat. I just always prefer the questions to be audible questions, because it's easier. Michael, you said, is there a way to get the softwares localized? I'm assuming that you mean to display in languages local to where our user is actually using them from. Yeah, there's ways to do that, and a lot of that just deals with having the actual verbal copy to display to a user in a different language that I don't speak. So yeah, there is a way, but it would take some amount of time and actually effort to go in and get them localized. But yeah, there's totally a way.
How close are we getting to making some of these softwares work in the UK? Because I was aware earlier on that some of them weren't, like RoboContact wasn't working in the UK.
Well, RoboContact does work in the UK, but there's some places, and I'm still figuring that out, there's some places that Google Maps does not pre-populate the location for some reason. So Google Maps just is not actually giving that data. So I can't tell you how close we are there because it's hit or miss on some places, and that's based on the limitations that we're seeing in Google or specifically in the implementation that we have in their particular APIs. Text in bulk, I'm trying, one of my end goals is to really make that the first takeover that we have to give us a break. I want you guys to I want a break to be able just to be like, you know what, I don't have to worry about anything because these guys will cover the cost that we need every month, and all I need to worry about and focus on is building badass software. That's my first break. The second break, I believe in text in bulk, which is giving you guys the break, where you guys are like, you know what, I'm making good money from this, and we've already now created a self-sustaining ecosystem where it doesn't cost you any money, it doesn't cost us any money, and we can still go balls to the wall and build actual software. And I believe that first software is going to be text in bulk, so that's where I'm actually trying to focus all my efforts on preparing that to be a global ready market. And that's probably going to be realistically, I want to say I'm trying to plan for the new year, but we're taking a 1-week trip for a company company anniversary and Christmas, because that's when most of our clients just disappear and don't ask us to do anything that week anyways, because they're celebrating Christmas. So most likely, realistically, it will probably be, you should probably plan on February before you could really say that our key software is available to everybody outside the United States, and it can be consumed by everybody.
Okay.
Gideon, you said new question, but I imagine the typical path would be first to sign up affiliate accounts for individual software before perhaps upgrading into a partnership account. I assume that affiliate assignment follows the customer. So I can't tell you what your best route is. I guess that's really dependent on your goal. Like that, I can tell you that I'm going to keep trying every single day to get as many partners as I can every single day until I don't need any anymore. And like, I can't tell you, I'm not gonna wait on you guys and rely on you guys to be the ones that go out and bring the partners. Now, if you do, great. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. And I'm trying to give you an extra incentive to do that. But I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm gonna keep doing and trying to get this filled up as soon as possible myself. So it's really up to you and your immediate goals. All right. If you need money right now, then if you sell a partnership, that's just not gonna pay you right now. You're not gonna get paid for that unless somehow you yourself and your own affiliate offer figure out a way to monetize that and figure out a way to tell somebody like, hey, look, I've got this opportunity I can introduce you to, and if you give me some money, I'm going to introduce you to it. I'm going to bring you in. Like, look, here's a special presentation that you're not going to want to miss. There's going to be a great offer, and you're not really going to want to miss it. And I can bring only 10 people, and I'll let you come if you pay me $100 or something. Maybe you're that good where you can convince somebody just to pay you to listen to the opportunity. I don't know, but outside of your own ingenuity, the partnership is just not going to pay you today if you sell one. All right. So if you need the money today, yes, you're going to have to get people into the software directly or sell a community membership and get people into the actual community and essentially give them the Tier 5 software pass. Or sell your agency accounts that you have. That would be your easiest goal. That's why I suggested something like $1 a day. I mean, Ron, that's what he did. He talked about it in our last meeting. That's exactly what he did. He went out to his group in his Facebook profile and he said, hey, look, I've got this really unique opportunity. I can bring you guys all this, this, and this, and I will do it. I want the opportunity myself, and I don't want to pay X amount for it. I have the opportunity to get it for X. And I will only do it if 5 people go in on me or 6 people go in with me, and they need to be $50 a month. And he convinced 6 people to go in and buy our software pack for $50 a month so that he could upgrade to an Inner Circle membership. And he knew as soon as he bought it, it didn't cost him anything because he already got 5 commitments, and they had already actually paid him before he went in and did the upgrade. That's why I suggested the $1 a day. I know that works because I've done it. And people buy it, and like literally I've got people right now who their bank has declined their transaction because after 16 days of $1 a day, the bank's like, well, that kind of looks funny, let's stop that, because it keeps getting charged. And whenever the bank declines it, I suspend their account and I send them an invoice to a $97 a month product, and they'll send me 20 emails like, no, I want to do this, I want to do this, I still want this, can I have this, can I have this? I don't want the 97, I want the $1 a day. They like cry to get that $1 a day and give me that money back. So I'm assuming that even just from your own Facebook friends, you should be able to sell 10, you should have 10 people that you could convince that. And if you don't have that, I just am going to tell you straight front, for it. If you can't get 10 people to pay $1 a day for all this software and you need the money from a partnership, this is not a good opportunity for you, because what that means is even with all this software, you're not going to be able to actually sell any to get any money, because you can't sell 10 for $1 a day. So if you can't sell 10 for $1 a day, what's unlimited software going to do for you if you can't sell it at all? It's not going to help you very much. So you're not going to, if you need the money, this is not going to be a great opportunity for you if you don't see yourself being able to actually bring people into this opportunity.
Hey John, are you recording this? Because I want to get a playback. I from some I don't know what I'm going to say, but somebody was speaking earlier, and I want to go back and listen to what they were saying.
I am recording most of it, like the first probably 7 or 9 minutes I didn't record because I forget to do that sometimes. What happens is I show up before anybody else and it automatically starts recording, and I don't want a video that I have to edit, so I stop recording it so it doesn't have like 6 minutes of me just like sitting here by myself, and I forget to record it. So most of it, yes, it is recorded. So what else? Any other questions you guys have? Any other things you guys want to talk about while we're here?
Can I ask a little bit about features of text in bulk? I don't know if you guys have ever talked about this or not, but Twilio right now goes towards WhatsApp. What about Facebook Messenger? Can those things be integrated as well for communication channels, or have you already thought about all those things?
Well, Dennis is our product owner for Text in Bulk, so he's kind of in charge of that product. So Dennis, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Basically, we're pulling together a list of all kinds of product requests. You can do it two ways. You can either within any of the products really, and in particular Text in Bulk, you go to the little chat messenger icon, you click on that, and within there's an option to submit a product feature or product request. They don't get ignored, all right? They're all going in the list, and then they're gonna get pulled together, and we'll prioritize those. We'll feed them back out to the community so we can all see exactly which ones seem to have the highest value and the best likelihood of having a strong impact. So no ideas are bad at this point. We wanna collect as many different perspectives as we can, all right? So the easiest path is to go into the product.
When you look at multiple communications channels, I mean, that was the idea behind Actionetics MD for ClickFunnels. It just sucks the way they implemented it. Yeah. Because, you know, it just doesn't work what they're doing.
Well, here's the advantage that we all have by having partnered with John. Anything that we collectively feel is going to have a significant impact, value add to the end user of the product will be added in. We also know that we're not limited to whatever the product currently does, because any new features and functions that pass that threshold can get developed. There's going to be very, very little, I anticipate, if anything, that we'll ever throw out at John and will he say, no, it can't happen, right? So there's not going to be an issue with that. It'll come down to a value proposition as far as what it'll be required to build that tool out and what is the net positive effect in terms of making the product more sellable or generate more revenues either for ourselves or for the customers who end up using it. So yes, we want to build this so that it's the best product out there. And John just mentioned before, the entire focus right now of the senior level of the engineering team is on Text in Bulk. It will be the initial cornerstone of what we end up building going forward. So definitely put your ideas into the bot, and we'll be going through those and we'll post them back out to the community.
It could do pretty much anything. So yeah, I've thought about WhatsApp. I've thought about Facebook Messenger, and what you guys are part of what you're talking about, even with Chatvago. All right. So I do have my own vision. Obviously, once we get this thing under wraps, this initial core group of people where we have our first engine that doesn't just, it's not automatically just producing us money, but it is from my perspective because you guys are contributing up front, all right? To take Text in Bulk and get that to pay us all back, and then build Anunnaki.com. And Anunnaki.com is just, it's like Text in Bulk. It's a stupid name for a software that doesn't describe anything that it does, all right? Which is essentially, you could imagine Text in Bulk, and you can imagine Chatvago, you can imagine ClickFunnels, you can imagine a funnel building platform that you know you need to build this thing to collect money that doesn't focus on the funnel building. The funnel building is just an inherent auxiliary because your main focus is what? It's the communication. All right. It does your lead generation as an auxiliary, just like text in bulk does. But what is the real focus in all sales? It is communication. It is to be able to actually follow up with people and send them out emails or send them out Facebook messages or send them out Skype messages or message them on Slack or send them a text message or have a phone call with them. That is essentially what drives sales. So yeah, we can build pretty much anything.
I think what we've all gotten a sense by now is the person most chomping at the bit to be able to be unleashed and go develop stuff is John. So we're all focused right now on meeting that OCI threshold because that unleashes everything else. So yes, all these features and requests we're going to have, they'll all be looked at and we're going to be implementing a whole bunch of them. But none of those things can really happen until OCI is met. Until that point takes place, the only things that we can really do right now is to plug whatever glaring holes might be there, if any, fix any crucial bugs, if any, and then do an upgrade as far as the core infrastructure so that we can support volume. And those are the things that are currently under works at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's a big feat to go in and it's a big feat to go in and make text in bulk global because I have to engineer, I got to engineer a system where you guys can validate a phone number and be able to search and filter a phone number and it not cost you 1 cent per phone number, which is going to cost you with the Twilio API because you're not going to realize how much money that you're going to consume if you want to go generate 10,000 leads and send them all a text message and it costs you a penny to send a text message and it also costs you a penny just to generate the lead and understand, is that a text message? Is that a cell phone or is that a landline? Is that even a number that you can contact? So if you don't have the open source data tables, you got to use an API request. So in order to do that, the reason it only supports text in bulk right now is so that we don't have to pay that validation money because I just go steal it from the internet because thanks to the US mandatories, they have a regulatory body that says everybody that is a carrier, they have to publish publicly their carrier code. So I can just go grab a database and then I can look up a phone number. Other countries don't have that that's available to the public that I've been able to find, so we have to use an API call. And I've got to build a distributed system so that if we don't have that number, we can validate it, and then the next 20 people that want that phone number, they don't have to pay to actually validate it anymore. So it exponentially cuts all the costs for everybody to understand so they can filter numbers. There's a lot of stuff I have to do to be able to make this platform be global. I've got to be able to make sure there's checks and balances where if you're in the UK and you're trying to inherently contact somebody from Australia with a number that isn't provisioned to actually be able to talk to that node over there, you're not going to be doing that and then putting in customer support issues saying, hey, for some reason I can't call a guy from Australia from a phone number from Mexico because those networks don't interconnect and it's just not possible sometimes. So I got a lot of work on my plate to really bring that to us where it can be something, like I said, I believe that software myself, that's really my baby. And I believe that software itself can make us between $1 million to $5 million a year if we clean up the UI and give it a high scale UI, because I look at other software out there and they charge $500 a month for that software and people pay for that, to do that. So I need to add some stuff in it, but yeah, all features are always welcome and those are plotted out efficiently by us. We plot them out on a pie chart, and what we do is we essentially gauge the overall positive impact that we have on the user base and the amount of time it's going to take to implement that. Something that's low time, high benefit has first priority, and then we evaluate the two other sectors. Something that has low benefit, high time never gets executed, and things that have high benefit, high time, and high benefit or low benefit, low time, those things we just kind of look to see based on other releases, because there's a whole strategy in releasing features to a software where you always want to be able to release some things. So if you're planning a big release, what you have to do for that big release is you have to first plan like 5 weeks of little tiny releases, because it's going to take you a week to do all those 5 new features, and it's going to take you 4 weeks to do that big feature. So every week you still want to release something so you can create some buzz and reach back out to your users and tell your users, hey, we improved this, or run a Facebook ad that says, hey, we got a new feature, come sign up, right? You want to keep creating that buzz so that you can stay relevant in markets and people keep coming to you. So yes, always ask for new features. We always want new features. So what else? Any other questions? Any things you guys want to talk about? Is that a no? You guys are good? Everybody's good?
Do you need us to fill out the W-9 on the ClickFunnels affiliate page as Inner Circle members, because we won't really be promoting it as affiliates. We'll be selling it outright.
I will need you to fill that out at some point if I start paying you money. But no, I don't. I don't need it right now. It's not something that's immediate need. So I will expect it at some time when I have to file my taxes and my accountant says, "Hey, this dude, you need some documents from him because you gave him so much money." But I'm not super hyper concerned about it right now. It should not be anything that limits you from being able to do anything. It should not be your main priority.
I could be wrong, but if we sell it as an affiliate, we only get 70%, correct? I mean, if we sell it on our own site and everything, then we can keep 100%. But if it's going through you, we get to keep 70%. So
that's correct.
Yeah. All right.
That's correct. You guys do have your, and I'm glad you said that, and I want to make sure you guys understand that. You guys do have accounts, 10 accounts, and you will, as Inner Circle members, get unlimited accounts. But that unlimited account is something that is going to go through your process. You're going to have some process of your own to collect money for that account and set those accounts up. I'm giving you a dashboard to manage it, and then I'm also giving you an API to be able to integrate with that API however you want to do it. But if you're just going to send people to my funnels and they're going to come through me and I have to manage all the financial accounting, you're getting paid your affiliate commission. So that's completely up to you to decide how you do it. If you're getting paid affiliate commission, it's because you didn't want to go in and actually set up the infra to be able to collect everything and sell them out on your own as a white labeler or reseller would, and that's up to you. That's your decision.
How would you feel about us using your logo on our sites?
I'm not fucked up about it, so it doesn't bother me. So I don't care what you guys use as long as it's just not blatant, like commonsensical things like this was a stupid ideal, right? If you guys are out there trying to promote and be part of this, I got no problem with any of that, all right? I don't want you to blatantly lie to people about stuff and just like do stuff that's just like, why would you do that, right? But I'm not, I don't care. You guys are all free to use the logo or anything that I actually produce. I create it for you guys, really. So what else, guys?
When we add our ClickFunnels affiliate ID to the Tier 5 affiliate dashboard, you just need the hashtag and the number. That's it.
You just need only the number, no hashtag, just the ID number.
Okay.
Just only the ID number. And once you add that, then you'll be able to get all the ClickFunnels links if you just want to send people to the ClickFunnels links. I'm trying to make it where you guys don't actually have to log into ClickFunnels at all is what I'm trying to make it, where once you get the ID, you just go into the affiliate dashboard and that's it.
Okay. Are these Inner Circle meetings, we're doing these once a week type of thing?
Yeah, that is the goal. So the goal possibly more than once a week if everybody can't meet them. So the goal is, yeah, to definitely have accountability meetings to make sure that especially as we grow, for sure. Especially as we grow. Now, after we're filled up, can we continue to have them? Yeah, sure. I can continue to make my time available for them. All right, until we hit our limit. Yeah, for sure. Because I want to make sure that I can help everybody as much as possible to be able to fill this up. Then after that, if you guys need to have them and want to have them, yeah, sure, I'm totally down to have them. It doesn't bother me. The only things that you guys have to understand about me is I'm me, and I also don't. I'm just blunt. I just say what I think. If you guys can't deal with that, then I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm just going to tell you, well, you need to figure out a way to still be able to operate with my personality because it's there and you're there. So let's realize that. Let's move on. I don't like to waste time. So like, I don't come here just to sit here and hang out. I come here in case you guys need help with something and want to talk and communicate. If not, then that's fine. Let's go off and go do something. If you guys don't have anything to do, that's fine. Sit there and don't do anything. I always have plenty of stuff to do that I could be doing. So if we need to have them, yeah, let's have them. Let's just make sure that they're productive while we're here. And this one has been productive, so.
John, we addressed this previously in one of the other JV team meetings. I think it'd be helpful if prior to a session, if folks had questions, they could send them to you ahead of time. So we'd have some, not an agenda per se, but we knew that there were things that needed to get talked about. And of course, if they come up during the session, that's fine. But it's uncomfortable for me to see you oftentimes saying, any more questions, guys? Any more questions, guys? Any more questions, guys? You know, I don't like seeing that kind of inefficiency, especially at this level. So if we got no questions, then we're done, right? We should just wrap this up quick. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a 10-minute meeting if we hit all the highlights and then we leave. I don't see a whole lot of value in making an hour and a half, and then you end up wasting your time, and so do a lot of other people. Yeah, so if possible, I'd say get questions ahead of time. So
and we could do something like have a unit in the inner circle group where every week's meeting has a post in that unit, and you could just go and post your questions at whatever time to that unit. Whenever we have our meeting, we just go to that unit and we check it out. And then at the end of that unit, we post that. At the end of that meeting, I post a replay on that unit. So you could just go through and see all the meetings that we had, see all the questions that were there, and then get the link to the video. I could do something like that.
I think that'd be great. Also, it'll save time for folks who want to go back and look at the recordings. So they're not saying, well, you know, last time I sat for an hour and a half and nothing really much happened. So I really want to go listen to the next one. But if there's already that list of questions and we know they were addressed in video number 1, it's like, oh, that's a hot question. Let me go listen to that video and try to find it, right? So, yeah, I think that's good.
That's great. Let's do that. There. I'll make them every week. But yeah, I will. Like I said, I will try to have them every week. I did ask in the group, and sometimes stuff gets lost in a group context. What's the best time frames for everybody? I'm almost 24/7, so I can kind of make myself available. Especially once I get my 100 partners, you guys basically own me. So I will work 20. That's why I've been trying to tell you. I will work 20 hours a day, and I will consider you kind of the people that actually own me because you're enabling me. So I will definitely go out of my way to make sure that everybody is accommodated here and happy, because together we're going to accomplish definitely my dreams and hopefully your dreams as well, because hopefully you have dreams to make money and build software that fucking makes us all rich and actually changes the world at the same time. If not, don't worry, just pay your money, because that's what's going to happen. So everybody's good, right? No other questions, concerns? We can all enjoy our weekend. What's up, Darren? Glad you guys are here. Well, if you do have any questions or concerns, just post them in the group. And that's a good place to go in and get support. I always check it. All right?
All right. Thank you, John. Thanks, guys.
You guys. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.